So I actually didn't really realize that I was getting into Qigong when I was getting into Qigong. I was in my undergraduate program, and I was a super science-oriented girl, and I was doing pre-med, and I signed up for this class called Nature, Movement, and Meditation as an elective, because honestly, I heard it was an easy A and that it was interesting, and I really needed something like that semester. But little did I know that one class would totally change the whole course of the rest of my life. It was just one of those moments, you know. So I go into the first day of class, and there's about 25 people there, and we're all sitting in a horseshoe, and the professor was a grandmaster of Qigong, which I had no idea what that meant at the time, but he asked for 6 volunteers, and 3 of them were friends of mine, so I knew it wasn't a setup, because I was very skeptical, you know. And so we walk into class, he's asked for the volunteers, and then he stands like 6 feet maybe behind them, and they're just standing in a relaxed posture, and he goes behind them and he starts doing these motions and movements with his hands, and then all of a sudden he goes like, poof, and the person standing there starts to fall forward, and immediately my jaw falls to the floor, and I'm like, what is this? And then he does these other movements with his hands, and then he goes kind of like pulling them back up, and they started to stand back up, and I was just completely in awe, because up until that moment in time, that was just impossible in my worldview. That was just not something that could happen, you know. So needless to say, I had lots of questions, and part of it was thinking, you know, is this some kind of magic trick or something? So I stayed, and like a good little scientist, I observed, and I asked lots of questions, and most importantly, I had my own experience. And I still remember the first time that I felt the qi, the energy in my body. I almost fainted. It was so intense. It was just this really incredible moment that I'll always remember. But it felt like I was waking up to a whole new world, but it was also this world that had kind of been there all along. I just wasn't aware of it. And so I studied with him for the next 2 years. I took classes. And, you know, in that time, my scientific mind started to open to other possibilities. And yeah, it's just really incredible. I started having this deep sense of calm that kind of came out of nowhere. And at the same time, I had a lot of energy. And it wasn't the caffeine-fueled energy that I had been used to up until that time. But it was just a really natural energy. And I was, maybe because I was sleeping better, I was waking up in the morning rested, which was something that was new for me. All, you know, shifted when I started having a daily Qigong practice. And then I didn't get sick very often. I just had all these really amazing, yet really simple shifts that happened. So I got really excited about what my experience was, and so I wanted to share it with other people. So I ended up doing my senior thesis project teaching Qigong to people in the community who had Parkinson's and their caregivers. And I taught them an 8-week course. I'd meet with them once a week and got to do a lot of research on that, which was really fun for me too. And they had some really wonderful results. So it was just amazing to have that experience and then be able to share it with other people and see them get benefit from it as well. Qigong has totally changed the direction of my life. I was headed down the Western medicine, you know, I want to be an MD route, and so I graduated from my undergraduate program having taught Qigong and had all these great experiences, and I was like, yes, I'm going to do Chinese medicine is my thing, you know. And then I moved home and stayed with family and kind of questioned that decision and, you know, hemmed and hawed, and I ended up moving across the country to do a naturopathic medicine program. And as I was filling out the application, you know, why do you want to be a naturopath? I just had this epiphany of, oh my gosh, I don't. And so I went back to the Chinese medicine, and the school that I was applying to had a great Chinese medicine program, very science-oriented, so that was appealing to me at the time. So I did my first year of the program there, and ended up transferring down to 5 branches in Santa Cruz because they had a Qigong program. They had a medical Qigong program. And I realized that really, to me, is the science of acupuncture. It is the science of Chinese medicine, studying the energetics and how the meridians work together and why the systems work like they do. I mean, to me, that comes from the Qigong piece. So then I ended up doing the Qigong practitioner program at 5 branches, and I started the master's program in acupuncture, and then I went on and did a doctoral program in medical Qigong, which is another 2,000-hour program. And I met my husband through Qigong. That's a really amazing celebration too. And I just really, I love that the essence of what I love about it is that it empowers people. And it gives them a set of tools that they can make changes in their life with. It's about teaching people how to take better care of themselves, rather than relying on outside sources for that. And to me, that's just magical. I really love that. Well, I really see, in my own clinical practice, I use Qigong as a bridge between acupuncture sessions. So if someone comes in, we're working on a certain treatment plan, then I can give them homework prescription exercises that are tailor-made for their condition and the goals that we're working towards. And then they practice that throughout the week, and then they come in and see me the next week. And that really helps to foster the treatment to be a lot faster and more successful, which is amazing. I also think that it can be a great bridge between Western medicine. I think a lot of times there's a misconception that, if you're in the alternative medicine field, that you're anti-Western medicine somehow, and you're trying to work against the man or something, but I really don't feel that that's the case. I feel like, it's a really powerful tool when we have both of them together, actually. And it can really help to cut the costs of medical care in this country, which I think is really needed. So you're teaching people tools so they can balance their own energy at home, and then they need Western medicine less often. They can regulate their own body to a certain degree. It's really, in essence, I think it's beautifully simple and complex at the same time, because you're working for, when a person is in balance and their energy is in harmony, then they're going to sleep better, right? Those simple things. They're going to digest better. They're going to have more energy. They're going to get sick less often. They're going to miss less work. They're going to be able to spend more time doing the things that they really love in life. They're going to have more time and energy to do that. And that's really where I see this medicine being a really useful tool.